The last update of Madden 25 is officially here, or at least I think it's the last update. There could always be a smaller one in March, but last year they stopped updating it in February. I'm pretty sure they're going to be doing the same thing this year. Now that they have 2 football games to work on with college, it seems like they've stopped the updates a little earlier in the year than they used to, but nonetheless, we did get a pretty big X Factor and Superstar update, which is usually one of the last updates they do every year. We usually get these players changed around twice a year, so we got our last one, I think, in November, and now we get the end of season update for those X Factor and Superstars. So we're going to go over all the people that changed, the people that lost their X Factor and Superstars, and everything else. If you are new to the channel and you never want to miss out on any of the important news for Madden 25 or the upcoming Madden 26 or the upcoming College Football 26, make sure to subscribe and turn the bell icon on so you don't miss any of these important videos when they go live. So let's first start with Jaden Daniels, the rookie. He went all the way up to X Factor in his first year, which does not typically happen. In fact, this may be the first time a rookie has ever gotten an X Factor. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe he is the first. Maybe Sauce Gardner might have gotten it, but I think Jaden might be the first. So this is pretty crazy because this is just not something you typically see happen. But with the type of year he had, I mean, it was kind of undeniable. I mean, he got all the way to the NFC Championship game, the best rookie season for a quarterback we've ever seen. He gets the Escape Artist X Factor, which makes sense because he is, other than Lamar Jackson, the best running, scrambling quarterback in the NFL. Then he also gets some pretty good abilities here. He's got Gutsy Scrambler, Roaming Deadeye, and Sideline Deadeye. So a lot of abilities about throwing on the run, kind of outside of the pocket, which is something that he likes to do. So that is one of the newest X Factor players for the Commander fans. Next up is Joe Mixon. Now, I don't think Joe Mixon was ever an X Factor before. He could have been one time. He's definitely been a superstar player before, but I don't recall him ever being an X Factor. But I mean, he arguably had his best season, even though he's been in the league for a while and he's been pretty good for a while. Only thing ever really held him back was some injuries at times, but he's always been a really good running back. But this year, arguably his best season. He's coming in with the Wrecking Ball X Factor, which is just really good for breaking tackles when he gets in the zone. He'll, truck people more, stiff arm better, kind of break those tackles. And then for his regular abilities, he has Bruiser, which is also going to be good for trucking and stiff arming. He's got Energizer, and he's got Backfield Master, which is really good because that means he will get extra hot routes. So he'll get those extra running back hot routes like a Texas route and things like that. So that is a very valuable ability. Another Texans player also got X Factor, Derek Stingley. Now, this is his second year, I believe, and kind of had a little bit of a slower start. Sauce Gardner was kind of the big, cornerback from that draft who kind of just exploded right away. But Derek Stingley really in this year picked it up, and he's become one of the best cornerbacks in the league. So he's getting the shutdown X Factor, which most cornerbacks get. He's also got some really good abilities. Pick Artist and Acrobat are really good. It's going to help him get his hands on more interceptions. And he's got the deep out zone KO. So if he's in like a cover 3 deep zone, like a deep third, or a cover 4, quarter zone, he's going to have better reactions. So you might want to play like more cover 3 or cover 4 style defense with the Texans because he's going to react really good in those types of zones. Going back to the Commanders here, we actually have Terry McLaurin as well. Now, he's been an X Factor before, so this is his second time. I believe he wound up getting demoted to Superstar, but now he is an X Factor once again, as he just had the best season of his career. Now that he has finally a really good QB at the helm, he's got the Double Me X Factor, which is different than what he had last time around. When he was an X Factor before, I believe he had Rack 'em Up or Yak 'em Up, which was a couple years ago. So this is a new X Factor for him. He's got the Double Me, and then he's got Outside Apprentice, which gives him better hot routes. He's also got Acrobat and Deep End Elite. So deep end routes, he's going to excel even more. Now we're going to continue on really quickly, but I first want to shout out today's sponsor, Underdog. They've been a huge supporter of the channel, and if you like sports and you like winning money, then you've got to be on Underdog playing their pick'em game. Basically, all you have to do is pick higher or lower on player stats, and if they hit, you can win some big money. But the best thing about Underdog is when you sign up, they give you free plays and they give you free money to start with. Now, the NFL season is over, but if you like the NBA, they're still giving you free picks during the NBA season. So, for example, over the next couple of days, if you sign up, they're going to give you Victor Wembanyama to get a single point. That means all you have to do is get 1 point when he plays, and that's it, you win. If you want to wait a few days from now, they're going to give you LeBron James to get a single point. And no matter when you sign up, there's always going to be a free play just like this. One of the star players who's playing on that night, all he'll have to do is get 1 point and you can win. And if you use my code RAY, R-A-Y, they're going to also give you up to $1,000 in bonus cash at sign up, and you just can't beat that. The next new X Factor player is Vita Vea of the Bucks. Now, I think he might have had X Factor before and got demoted. I can't quite remember, but he definitely has it now if he hasn't had it before. He's got Fearmonger, which is a pretty good one, and then his abilities are El Toro, Unpredictable, unpredictable, and swim club, which I think he probably already had those because I think he was at least a superstar player this year. So fearmonger is just kind of the new one there, but one of the best nose tackles in the league, so that makes sense. Here's a new player we haven't seen with X Factor before, Xavier McKinney. He's been in the league a few years, switched teams to the Packers this year, and he had his best season by far. He has got the shutdown X Factor, and then his abilities are acrobat, pick artist, and mid-zone KO. So he's going to have a better time getting those picks, but also in a mid-zone, like a deep third and a cover 3, kind of that center fielder zone, he's going to have better reaction. Next up, we have Budda Baker of the Cardinals. Now, this is not his first time with X Factor. He definitely had this a few years ago. Then he got demoted to superstar. Now he is an X Factor once again. He has reinforcement, which is one of the less common ones for DBs, but it just gives him a higher chance to defeat run blocks and disrupt catches. So he kind of knocks the ball out and he can block shit against the run quicker. His regular abilities are mid-zone KO, tackle supreme, and flat zone KO. So he's got some pretty good abilities there. If he's in a flat zone or a mid-zone, so kind of like think yellow zones or hard flats, he's going to have better reactions and ball knockouts, and he's going to tackle very well. And another new player with X Factor, we've got Bijan Robinson, who had, a really good year this year. He was good as a rookie, but he definitely stepped it up a lot more in his second year. He's got first one free, which just means he's going to have better jukes, spins, and hurdles. When he gets in the zone, he can fake out players more. His regular abilities are pretty good. He's got jukebox, which is one of the best ball carrier abilities, energizer, and he's got backfield master, which gives him extra hot routes. Moving on to the new superstar players, we're going to start with Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, I really feel like Gibbs should have been an X Factor as well. I feel like if Bijan is an X Factor, I feel like Jahmyr Gibbs is like the same tier as Bijan. I feel like he's right there with him, honestly. So maybe next year he'll get it, but he did get upgraded to superstar, which is really the most important because honestly, X Factor player is cool and all because you get like the big X under the player, but the X Factor abilities are not the best ones. The regular abilities are. So as long as you're a superstar player, you're getting the abilities that matter most. So he's got Jukebox, which is going to help him fake defenders out with jukes. And he's got Reach for It, which will allow him to get those extra reaches, to convert those short yardage into first down. So those are pretty good. We've also got Brian Branch of the Lions becoming a superstar player as well. You're going to probably see a few Lions here because they're just playing so much better than they had been in past years. So he's got Acrobat and mid-zone KO, so going to be better at those diving interceptions and the mid-zones. He's going to react better. Next up, we've got the lineman here of the Broncos. You don't always see linemen get kind of promoted to superstar as much. There's very few of them in the game, so when you get promoted, you're doing pretty well. So he's going to have secure protector and post-up, so just going to kind of be better at, pass protection. So good ability for him to help protect Bo Nix. Next up, we've got Trey McBride from the Cardinals. Great year this year. Not a lot of touchdowns, but a lot of catches, a lot of yards. If you had him in fantasy football, he was doing pretty good work this year. He's got Route Apprentice, which is kind of a rare one, especially for a tight end, because that means he gets additional hot routes at any position. So if you line him up at tight end, he gets extra hot routes, but if you line him up even in a receiver spot, like outside or in the slot, he will also get additional receiver hot routes. So that's pretty cool. And he's got deep end elite, which means he's just going to perform better on deep end routes. So like a deep dig, short post routes, and things like that. Another tight end, Brock Bowers. Right out of the gate, I think he's another rookie alongside Jaden that you could have argued could have been pushed up to X Factor. The thing with X Factor is they try to only keep it at 50 players, so sometimes there's always going to be like 5 or so players that you feel like should be that are left out. But Brock Bowers, best rookie tight end season we've ever seen. But again, he has Route Apprentice, something that's kind of rare. Maybe they're making it not as rare now because we just saw 2 tight ends get it. But George Kittle for the longest was the only person that had this. Even Travis Kelce didn't have it, but they're giving it to more guys now. So he'll get the extra hot routes everywhere. And he's got deep out elite, which means deep out routes. He's going to have like better route running and catching on those. Next up, we've got Zach Bond of the Eagles. This one hurts because my Saints had him and we just really never utilized him. Then he goes to the Eagles and he becomes a defensive player of the year candidate. So just crazy. But a phenomenal year. He's got demoralizer and outmatch. So he's going to be, better on hit sticks. He's going to kind of just, I think it wipes out the zone progress of players on hit sticks, and he's got outmatched, which means he's going to have better catch knockouts against running backs. So honestly, not the best abilities in the world. It's better than nothing, but not 2 of the most sought after ones, I guess you could say. Another Eagle here, Dallas Goedert. Kind of surprised he wasn't already a superstar because he's always been a solid tight end, but definitely kind of stepped it up a bit this year. He's got arm bar, not very typical for tight ends, more of a running back ability, but he's going to be able to stiff arm the heck out of people, which makes sense because Dallas Goedert does stiff arm the heck out of people. people. So it does make sense for him. He's got tight end apprentice, which is going to give him extra hot routes at the tight end position. Very valuable. And he's got short out elite. So little short out routes and things like that, little zig routes. He's going to get better route running and separation on those. Here we got another Eagle. I mean, look, they won the Super Bowl, so clearly, you know, they're going to get some upgrades here. Quinyon Mitchell, another rookie moving up. He's got acrobat and flat zone KO. Two pretty solid abilities for him. So with flat zone KO, if you're playing with the Eagles, you might want to play some more cover 2 because that's where you would get the most out of Quinyon Mitchell with those abilities. More rookies here. I mean, look, this was a great rookie class. Brian Thomas Jr., one of the better rookie wide receiver seasons we've seen. He gets acrobat and short out elite. I'm going to be honest, not the best abilities in the world for a receiver. I mean, acrobat's good for diving catches and stuff, but you know, it's not the most necessary thing. Short out elite is cool, but a guy like Brian Thomas, this feels like weird abilities for him because he's such a deep threat guy, makes big plays down the field. It feels like he should have something a little bit more tailored to that because, like, if you're using Brian Thomas, you're not going to have him on short out routes too often. You're probably going to be sending on deeper routes because of his speed. So not the best abilities in the world for Brian Thomas. Hopefully next year maybe they upgrade him with some better stuff. Next up, we've got Jonathan Grenard of the Vikings. He's got tackle, supreme, and mid-zone KO. So, going to do really good with the tackles. Obviously, he's going to, you know, not really get broken tackles on him too much. And mid-zone KO. So, if he's in like a yellow type zone, he's going to react pretty good. So, not bad at all. Those are some pretty decent. As far as linebacker abilities go, those are pretty decent. Another Viking, Andrew Van Ginkel, one of their other linebackers. I mean, look, their defense was pretty good this year, so it makes sense that their guys are moving up. He's got out of my way and outmatched. So, really, this is going to be more so, you know, out of my way is going to be good at shedding blocks against the run, so you know you might not want to run to his side of the field because he's going to shed blocks pretty easily, and outmatch is going to help him versus like running backs in coverage. Moving on to the Patriots here. They had no superstar or X-Factor players unless somebody lost one. But right now, all they have is Christian Gonzalez, another young corner here. I think this is his second year. So kind of similar to Stingley, right? Like was solid in his rookie year, but definitely stepped up more in the second year. He's got acrobat and short route KO. So if you're playing with the Patriots, right? If you're a Patriots fan, if you want to take advantage of the one guy with abilities, probably play a little bit more. I accidentally skipped over here. Probably play a little bit more man defense because short route KO is going to help him on short routes in man coverage. So, you know, not really much you can do with just one guy with abilities, but if you want to take advantage, I would just say try to tailor your defense to some man coverage. Moving on to the Bills here, we have James Cook. Definitely the best season of his career. Ton of touchdowns this year. Played really well. And he got some really good abilities. Juke box, so he's going to have really good juke animations. And backfield master, which gives him the extra hot routes. So if you play with the Bills, I mean, getting extra hot routes in your running back, that's always a plus. Another running back here, Kyron Williams. I thought he already had abilities, but I guess he didn't. Now, he's been in the league a couple years, been solid both years. He's got reach forward and arm bar, so not the best running back abilities. Arm bar is cool. I mean, if you want to take advantage of them, just use the stiff arm instead of trying to juke or spin. But, you know, not the best ones. You'd like to see some better ones, but better than nothing. Moving on to the Packers, we've got Josh Jacobs. Now, this guy's been all over the place since he's been in the league. He's been an X-Factor player, I'm pretty sure. He's been a superstar, then he lost it. Now he got it back. He's got bruiser and steamroller, so it's basically what it sounds like. It's what he does in real life. He's going to run you over. Trucks and stiff arms. That's how you're going to want to use Josh Jacobs. Going over to the Bengals, we've got T. Higgins. I mean, he's just been really good since he's been in the league. His only problem has been some injuries here and there. It sounds like the Bengals are going to try to franchise tag him again because they definitely don't want to let him get away. He's got acrobat and deep out elite, which makes sense for the type of player he is. He makes a lot of big catches. He makes a lot of those big catches on the deep outside routes like fades and stuff like that. The one-on-one catches, we see him go up one-on-one. You know, it's not really a 50-50 ball with him. It's more like 80-20. So kind of it's not the best abilities in the world, but it makes sense for the type of player he is. We've got another rookie, Ladd McConkey. I mean, this receiver class was really good. He's got slot-o-matic and short and elite, which makes sense for his player because he's kind of that guy in the slot on some shorter routes a good amount of the time. So slot-o-matics is going to give him better cuts and catching on short slot routes, and then short and elite is just specifically for short end routes. So if you want to take advantage of Ladd, keep him in the slot, keep him on shorter routes more so than longer routes because you're going to get, you know, more of the benefit of his abilities in that way. But sometimes I think slot-o-matic and even short and elite, I don't know if this is still as much of a thing as it used to be like a couple years ago, but sometimes these abilities like short and elite and slot-o-matic or short out elite, sometimes they will also trigger on like medium routes as well. It's kind of sometimes inconsistent. So really, sometimes you get a little bit more bang for your buck with these because they will activate on certain routes that they're not supposed to. So just keep that in mind. Another wide receiver, Drake London, been in the league for a couple years now, but really kind of took his big step forward this year. He's got acrobat and short out elite. So, you know, again, kind of for Drake London, I've not the best in the world. Again, sometimes the short routes do kind of activate on medium routes as well, but I don't know, I would like to see him gotten some different stuff, just kind of based on the type of player that he is. Another guy for the Bills got upgraded, Greg Rousseau. He's got BOGO and Speedster, so basically just different pass rushing abilities that's going to help him shed blocks a little bit more consistently. Another Lion here, we've got Kirby Joseph. I think he might have led the league in picks. If not, he was very close, so pick artist makes sense for him. He's going to catch more picks, and he's got deep end zone KO, so things like, you know, cover 3 deep zones and stuff like that, he's going to activate a little bit better, so you want to keep him, you know, play cover 3 with the Lions, because I believe that Brian Branch has mid-zone KO. So if you set it up right, Brian Branch should be the guy in your mid-zone, the yellow zone, the hook curl or whatever in a cover 3. Kirby Joseph is in the deep third in the cover 3. You've got 2 guys that are going to react very, very well. And for the Texans, we've got Will Anderson Jr. I would say that he probably should have already been a superstar, so it seems a little bit late on him, but he's got reach elite, which is okay, but edge threat is the good one here. Edge threat's one of the best pass rushing abilities, so he's going to kind of shed blocks a lot quicker than he was. You know, and I believe, yeah, Daniil Hunter doesn't have it. He used to have it. He's got Speedster. But both of these guys together, I mean, if you just play like kind of vanilla coverage, whether you're just playing all man across the board or like, you know, kind of standard cover 3 or whatever, you've got 2 guys that can kind of shed blocks very quickly. That's going to make their defense better. And then you've got Stingley, who now has all these abilities, right? So he's got the deep out zone KO. So I would say kind of stick to the cover 3, cover 4. You've got a cornerback that's going to react really well. And then now you've got, you know, 2 pass rushers that can get quick pretty, you know, or get free pretty quickly, rather. Now, here are the players that were demoted from X Factor to Superstar. We've got Devontae Adams. Obviously, you know, he did not have a great year. Marshawn Lattimore was banged up, and then, you know, he didn't look good in the playoffs, so he got demoted. Deebo Samuel. CJ Stroud actually got demoted to Superstar as well. He was an X Factor, but he kind of had a step back this year. Nick Chubb was demoted to Superstar as well. DK Metcalf, Cooper Kupp, and Levante David, all demoted to Superstar. Now, these players were superstars, and now they have nothing. They have no abilities anymore. Some pretty important names on this list. So we've got Travis Etienne Jr., Justin Tucker, which we know why Justin Tucker was demoted. Honestly, his play kind of fell off a little bit this year, but I don't think that's why he got demoted. I think it's because of the other stuff going on. Usually when things like that happen, EA kind of removes stuff from them because the NFL kind of tells them that they have to. So, you know, that makes sense there. Keenan Allen also got demoted. He's getting older, so, you know, he's not quite the guy he used to be. Amari Cooper, Brandon Ayuk, Rashawn Gary, Breece Hall, that's kind of a hit for the Jets. TJ Hawkinson, Hassan Reddick, Jalen Waddle, Trayvon Diggs, kind of a surprising one here. Zach Martin, another surprising one. That's big hits for the Cowboys there. And Isaiah Pacheco, which is a pretty big hit for the Chiefs. Now, recently we found out something pretty interesting about the future of Madden, and if you want to find out what that is, make sure to check out this video right here on the screen.